Now let us take an example of comparative balance sheet. In front of your screens, you can see the comparative balance sheet of SEMA Limited as on December 31, 2009 and on December 31, 2010. You are required to prepare a comparative balance sheet on the basis of the information contained in the balance sheets and comment upon. So we have on the liability side share capital, reserves, loan, current liabilities. On the asset side we have fixed assets and current assets. जैसा हमने कंपैरेटिव इनकम स्टेटमेंट बनाया ठीक उसी तरीके से हम कंपैरेटिव बैलेंस शीट भी ड्रॉ करते हैं. इन द फर्स्ट कॉलम वी हैव द पर्टिकुलर्स, देन 2009, 2010. In the fourth column we will be writing the absolute increase or decrease, and then the same figures will be written in percentages form. So let us start preparing the comparative balance sheet. First of all, we have asset side. Fixed asset in the year 2009 were 2 lakh and it increased to 3 lakh in the year 2010. It means that there was a change of 1 lakh, 1 lakh positive change, and in percentages term 1 lakh divided by 2 lakh multiplied by 100 means 50% fixed assets were increased in the year 2010. While preparing the comparative balance sheet, we will be looking at the fact that if there was a change of 50% in fixed assets, then how the fixed assets have been financed, whether the fixed assets were financed from the long-term liabilities or from the short-term liabilities. Now let us see what happened to the current assets. Current assets in the year 2009 were 50,000 and in the year 2010 were 80,000. So there was a change of 30,000 rupees. And in percentages term, the change comes to 30,000 divided by 50,000 multiplied by 100 means 60%. So current asset of the company has been increased by 60%. And the net effect on the total asset was total assets were increased by 52%. अब 1,30,000 की टोटल एसेट जो इंक्रीज हुई है उसमें से 1 लाख का इंक्रीज फिक्स्ड एसेट की वजह से था और 30,000 का इंक्रीज करेंट एसेट्स की वजह से था. Now let us analyze the second part of the balance sheet, that is the liability side. Share capital in the year 2009 was 1 lakh, but in the year 2010 it increased by 50,000 rupees and came to 1,50,000. The percentage increase in share capital was 50,000 divided by 1 lakh multiplied by 100 means 50%. Reserves in 2009 were 1 lakh and in 2010 it was again 1 lakh. So there was no change in the reserve. In case of loan, earlier it was 20,000 and now it is 80,000. So there is an increase of 60,000 rupees in loan. And in percentage change, the increase is 60,000 divided by 20,000 multiplied by 100 means 300%. And the current liability were 30,000 in 2009 and 50,000 in 2010 means there was an increase of 20,000 or 67%. And the total capital and liabilities of the company increased from 2,50,000 in 2009 to 3,80,000 in 2010 means there was an increase of 1,30,000, and this 1,30,000 in percentages term shows the increase of 52%. In whole of this comparative statement, what we have seen is that if there was an increase in fixed asset, it has been financed by the corresponding increase in the equity share and the long-term loans. So thus the company is using long-term resources to finance the long-term assets. And similarly, there was an increase of 30,000 in the current assets, which is little bit more than the 20,000 increase in the current liability. It means that the company must have financed some portion of the current assets out of the long-term loans. Common size statements. Now let us first of all understand what is common size statement. Common size financial statements are those statements in which figures reported are converted into percentages to some common base. कॉमन साइज स्टेटमेंट बनाते हुए हम एक ईयर को कॉमन ईयर लेके वो ईयर जो नॉर्मल ईयर है उसको हम कॉमन बेस एज्यूम करके और बाकी सारे सालों को उस बेस के अकॉर्डिंगली परसेंटेजेस टर्म्स में कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं. So as we have prepared comparative income statement and comparative balance sheet in our comparative statements. Similarly, we are going to prepare common size income statement and common size balance sheet or common size position statement in case of common size financial statements. First of all, let us see what is common size income statement. In common size income statement, sales are assumed to be equal to 100. हम sales को 100 assume करके उसके accordingly सारी figures को change कर लेते हैं. And all these figures are expressed as a percentage of sale. And what is the use of preparing common size income statement? Common size income statement for different period helps to reveal the efficiency of the firm. If we prepare common size statement for two firms, it throw lights on the relative efficiency of each item of the cost for the two firms. और वहां से हमें ये पता चलेगा कि दोनों firms में से कौन सी firms ज़्यादा efficiently अपने resources को use कर रही है. Similarly, common size position statement or common size balance sheet is prepared by taking the total of the balance sheet as 100 and all figures are adjusted in percentages term. And what is the use of preparing common size position statement? It helps to highlight the trends in various items of the balance sheet. And when the common size position statement is prepared for the two or more firms in the same industry, it enables the analyst to judge the comparative financial soundness in undertaking their financial policies and कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर. वहां से हमें यह पता चल जाता है कि किस कंपनी ने कि कौन सी कंपनी फाइनेंशियली ज्यादा साउंड है. Now let us take one example. From the following income statement of XYZ Limited for the year ending 31st March 2009 and 10, you are required to prepare the common size statement. So हमारे पास जो फिगर दे रखी है उनमें है gross sales less returns means net sales. And when we deduct cost of goods sold from that, we get gross profit. उसके बाद हमारे पास expenses हैं, selling expenses, general expenses, financial expenses and total expenses. And ultimate figure is net profit. और इसमें से हम बनाएंगे common size income statement. तो जैसा कि हमने पहले डिस्कस किया, हम पहले कॉलम में particulars लेंगे, फिर 2009 means previous year, 2010 means current year और उसके बाद हम देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से common size statement बनती है. So we will be adding two more columns 2009 and for 2010. तो सबसे पहले हमने net sales को equivalent to 100 लिख लेना है. For the year 2009 net sale column के आगे जाके लिखेंगे 100 and for the year 2010 net sales के column में हम लिखेंगे 100. और सबसे पहले हम ग्रॉस सेल्स को 100 के अकॉर्डिंगली कन्वर्ट करेंगे. तो हम कैसे कन्वर्ट करेंगे? 15,15,000 वर द ग्रॉस सेल इन द ईयर 2009 एंड नेट सेल्स वर 15 लाख. तो कन्वर्शन लगाते हुए 15,15,000 डिवाइडेड बाय 15 लाख मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 100 वी विल गेट 101.0. Similarly, for the year 2010, the gross sales comes to 101.1 of the net sales of the company. Now let us convert the returns. Returns were 15,000 in the year 2009 and net sales were 15 lakh. Converting returns according to net sale, we will be getting 15,000 divided by 15 lakh multiplied by 100 means 1.0. Similarly, for the year 2010, the returns come to 1.1 of the sales. And now we are going to convert cost of goods sold. In the year 2009, cost of goods sold were 10,50,000. 10,50,000 divided by 15 lakh multiplied by 100 means 70.0. It means that 70% of the sales is the cost of goods sold. Similarly, for the year 2010, the resultant variable is 71. Means in the year 2010, 71% of sales were cost of goods sold. इसका मतलब 2010 में कंपनी की कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड एज कंपेयर टू सेल्स बढ़ गई है. एंड ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट for the year 2009 was 4,50,000, and when we are to convert it according to the net sales, our figure comes to 30. For the year 2010, the change in gross profit comes to 29. It means that the gross profit as compared to sales has been reduced in the year 2010. And when we see the expenses contribution to the sales, it shows that in the year 2009 the expenses were 75,000, and when we compare it to the sales, the expenses comes to 5% of the net sales. वो किस तरीके से आया? 75,000 डिवाइडेड बाय 15 लाख, 15 लाख जो हमारी सेल्स थी, मल्टीप्लाई बाय 100, तो हमारे पास रिजल्टेंट फिगर आती है 5%. In the year 2010, the selling expenses increased to 75,600, और सिमिलरली उसका जो परसेंटेज ऑफ द सेल्स था, यानी कि 75,600 डिवाइडेड बाय 14 लाख मल्टीप्लाई बाय 100 मीन्स 5.4. तो सेलिंग एक्सपेंसेस भी हमारे बढ़ गए. उसके बाद हमने यही फॉर्मूलाज जनरल एक्सपेंसेस, फाइनेंशियल एक्सपेंसेस और टोटल एक्सपेंसेस पे लगाया. सो जनरल एक्सपेंसेस भी 3.0 से बढ़कर 3.2 हो गए, फाइनेंशियल एक्सपेंसेस 0.5 से कम होकर 0.4 हो गए, जबकि टोटल एक्सपेंसेस 8.5 से बढ़कर 9.0 हो गए. इसका मतलब अगर हम इन फिगर्स को एनालाइज करें तो कंपनी ने अपने फाइनेंशियल एक्सपेंसेस को कंट्रोल किया, जबकि सेल्स एक्सपेंसेस और जनरल एक्सपेंसेस उसके दोनों ही बढ़ गए हैं. एंड the effect on the net profit shows that in the year 2009 the net profit were 3,22,500, and in sales terms the net profit were 3,22,500 divided by 15 lakh multiplied by 100 means 21.5% of the sales. And in the year 2010 the profits were reduced to 20% of the sales. Now let us move on to the ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is one of the most useful and common method of analyzing the financial statement. रेशियो एनालिसिस में हम एक फैक्टर को दूसरे फैक्टर के प्रोपोर्शन में चेक करते हैं. सो रेशियो एनालिसिस प्रोवाइड मोर वैलिड कंक्लूजन्स एज कंपेयर टू कॉमन साइज एंड कंपैरेटिव स्टेटमेंट्स. इट कम्युनिकेट द रिलेटिव इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ द वेरियस आइटम्स appearing in the balance sheet and the income statement. So जैसा कि हमने पहले कॉमन साइज और कंपैरेटिव इनकम स्टेटमेंट अलग से बनाई, उसके बाद कॉमन साइज और कंपैरेटिव बैलेंस शीट्स अलग से बनाई. रेशियो एनालिसिस में ये एडवांटेज रहता है कि प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस की या इनकम स्टेटमेंट की आइटम्स का हम बैलेंस शीट की आइटम्स के ऊपर इम्पैक्ट चेक कर सकते हैं, या फिर बैलेंस शीट की आइटम्स का इनकम स्टेटमेंट की आइटम्स के कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग इफेक्ट हम चेक कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज द बिगेस्ट एडवांटेज दैट रेशियो एनालिसिस प्रोवाइड्स अस. लेट अस सी वन डेफिनेशन ऑफ द रेशियो एनालिसिस. द टर्म accounting ratios is used to describe significant relationship which exist between the figures shown in the balance sheet and in the profit and loss account in a budgetary control system or in any part of the accounting organization. So ratio analysis establish a significant relationship various items of the income statement and the position statement of the company. It is a proven fact that the calculation of the ratio is comparatively simple, routine, clerical nature in job, but the interpretation of the same is highly sophisticated and intricate phenomena. The benefits of the ratio analysis depends upon the great deal upon the correct interpretation.